Good morning or good night, Gacha Kingdom. Seth Lowell, the Link's cat tyrant that works for pubsec. Ah yes, the sleeper build man ever that you think you could pick a fight with him and then he would end up folding you like a metal chair. But he's so stupid that he still doesn't know that the two sibling pairs is probably Faithin still. Even though that this is the worst kept secret in New Erdu, he still probably doesn't know that they're Faithin. And maybe it should be kept that way. You read the title of this video. I think Seth is so stupid that he's probably oblivious to the fact that Jane and Harumasa, in theory, wants to have a relationship with this man, and here's why. Undercover R&B should have just been named Jane Seth Propaganda, because that was literally just the entire thing of Undercover R&B. If you don't know what that is, that's the 1.1 story update, and considering that happened a year ago now, here's a TLDR of what happened, just in case if you either forgot or you just hit the skip button. Qingyi and Seth get put onto a job about how there's a gang doing gang stuff in the hollows. Oh, you know, just a normal Friday in New Erdu. One of the gangsters is Jane Doe, and she's kind of strong. And they have like a face-off, and then there's some random people, construction workers, and they're like, oh my god, we could take hostages. And then Seth trades himself for some of the hostages, but they take some hostages anyway, and Seth. And then like GTFO, and then Zhu and Qingyi are like, shit! POVs swap over to Jane, and she does some like stuff and figures out that the gang actually sucks, and she's like, damn, this gang sucks. I should just team up with this cat tyrant and GTFO. Jane and Seth have a little moment together, which is pretty goofy, and then they beat up the main evil guy. And then about a week later, Qingyi and Zhu are like, oh yeah, Jane? She works for pubsec. She's also a co-worker. Like, she works in the same team as us. We just never told you about her. And Seth's like, what the hell? When Hoyo first dropped Jane, I was like, whoa, time out. Y'all are making it a little too easy to make me pull out a credit card right now. And I think everybody kind of already knew the assignment that HOYO-Verse was putting themselves when they're like, here's Jane Doe, and here's Seth Lowell, the obvious policeman, and the obvious girl boss. And everyone was just like, alright, fuck it, close enough. Welcome back Ada Wong and Leon Kennedy. But after the 1.1 story update, we've never seen Jane and Seth interact again, which sucks because I liked how Jane was just girl bossing the girl failure that is Seth. Just in general, really, it seems like HOYO-Verse has forgotten about Jane Doe. Like, I know I compared her to Ada like 5 seconds ago, but she taken the Ada Wong approach a little too seriously. Like, after 1.1, she only shows up like once in the main story, and that's to see Bringer explode into fireworks. She doesn't get any voice lines or anything. And event-wise, she shows up in that Paper Please Aha ass gameplay where we're recommending her a movie, and it shows that she spends a hella bank with us, but like, she doesn't show up. Like, where is she? She probably doesn't even know that we're in China. And if she doesn't know that, she for sure doesn't know that her man is about to get stolen by another man. Harumasa and Seth's really interesting because the ZZZ writing team went out of their way and added backstory to Seth and Harumasa during Harumasa's story quest, where they were like, oh yeah, these two went to the same school, went to the same class, and one became a government worker and one just became a regular police officer. And Harumasa makes fun of Seth because he became a police officer and not went to work with the government, which is funny because it's kind of given like girl failure makes fun of girl failure for failing. The only lore that you got to know before I talk about this relationship is Seth's social links aha ads gameplay, where he tells you about how he has an older brother in pubsec, where at first when he first joined the force he was kind of like Seth, but then like he started getting more ranks and he became like a bad guy. Simplifying it because I kind of forgot like why he became a bad guy. I just know that he's a very bad guy, and Seth has distanced himself from his older brother. And I think Harumasa has some beef with Seth's older brother, and I have proof. Before the final arc in Harumasa's story quest, Harumasa and Bell overhears Seth talk with one of his co-workers, and co-worker is talking about how apparently there's this miracle drug that's made out of the blood tissue of people who have ethereal cancer basically, and if they use the blood tissue of the people with cancer, then they can do some chemistry shit to it, and all of a sudden it makes this miracle drug that gets rid of all the corruption side effects of being in a hollow, so we don't have to worry about dying because we're in a hollow for too long. And then Harumasa jumps in and he's like, yeah, fuck those people with ethereal cancer, because Seth doesn't know that Harumasa has ethereal cancer, and he's like, those people with ethereal cancer are gonna die before they turn into an adult anyway, so fuck those people. Those people should just sacrifice themselves so that people like you guys can go into the hollows and not have to worry about being corrupted into ethereals. And then Seth's like, oh hell nah. If you genuinely believe that, you should just quit the government right now. I'm gonna beat the shit out of you for saying something like that because nobody deserves to be sacrificed. And you know what Harumasa says to string this entire thing together?
Interesting. I never thought a man like your brother could have a sibling like you. You're an honest man. You're going to make an excellent public security officer.
Huh?
Harumasa and Seth are like currently like friends to rivals to possibly sloppy kissing, and they're currently at step 2, and I don't think they have the rivalry fire in them like Hugo and Von Lycan where they hate each other so much that they want to have hatred. I think they just need some missions that happen to be given to them as solo missions, but they're actually working together by Miyabi and Zhu Yuan. Like, oh yeah, I can't do this mission, can you do it for me? And they both show up and they're like, what the fuck, what are you doing here? And then like they start like working with each other and they're like, yeah, you know what, you're not that bad. And then like they start holding hands and then some indirect kisses and then some like kisses on the cheeks and then like some more hand holding. And that's not to discredit Jane's game either. It's just the fact that the ZZZ team just has not given Jane any screen time at all. Like, it may not be as strong as Ada and Leon, but maybe it's gonna be like one of those, the senpai falls in love with their kohai and like their kohai is super oblivious to it because Seth is dumb. Or maybe the senpai kohai relationship's already happening between the both of them because Jane's already showing Seth like, hey, there's some bad people that could be good people if you just talk to them, but there's some people that are just, oh god, it's just that we don't see it because they're never in the same place and they never talk about each other ever since 1.1. Anyway, third secret option, Komano and Seth for my size different lovers.